Nano. Good evening, Tony. Are you an alien? Is he an alien or is he from Area 57? That's where they keep all the baked beans. Have you had a shower? Probably not. You're probably now going to go live on your channel, Budgie Smuggler Live. Cold here. Just had one. Yeah, all the sports being training, like say, the ground's about half a kilometre away and you can hear the boys, "Pass the ball, you mongrel!" What's it to me? "Oh, stop you, mate. Give me the ball." That's just training. I played a lot of sport. Until I was about 42, I was still playing at a fairly high level. And then when I went out to the cricket pitch and took guard and looked at the umpire and nodded, "Thank you very much," and all the kids around me said, "Hello, mister," and they sort of made me feel really old, and I thought, maybe I shouldn't be here anymore. Problem with sport is you get very good at it as you go along. And when you get really old, you're incredibly good at it, but you're incredibly old. Nice big stew tonight. Slow processed, but yum. Was that good? It's unusual. The wife went back for a big second bowl. I like a nice hot stew. A cold night. Basically, what are we, a day or two away from winter? Beautiful sunshine this afternoon, but miserable in the morning. I think we've got some more weather coming. So the missus just said I shall check the weather page. Let's check it out. There's a warning. Let's have a look. Oh, great. Severe weather warning. Top priority. Low west, southwest, south coastal. Potential for severe weather over parts of Western Australia during Friday, which is tomorrow, of course. Damaging winds and abnormally high tides. Okay, that's all we need. Another bloody storm. Let's check out the synoptic. They're always good to see. Oh yeah, a couple of big lows down there. Yeah, we're going to get something in tomorrow. That's all we need. More bloody storms. Not getting much rain out of them. Lots of wind though. Down to council today. I'm doing an addition to the front veranda. It's an old postage stamp front veranda, very small, so we're just making it longer and a little bit wider. And I've got all these plans and went down there and they make you run through hoops. I'm sure I'll get another phone call saying, oh, you've missed something, Mr. Seeds to Freedom. He's coming to give me this. I said, do you need an engineer's report? She said, oh, I'm not sure at this stage. So I said, well, is that yes or no? She said, I'm not sure. So I've given all the architectural drawings, all the building information, heights, widths, additions, stormwater, all that. And they can't answer me if they need an engineer's certificate. You watch, a week will pass and they say, oh, you do need an engineer's certificate? Really? Okay. We'll get the front veranda fixed because that's nice to sit out there in the middle of summer by about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's all shaded. Be nice. When that's done, I'll do the paving out the front and the front fence. Just a matter of time. That we won't be on long tonight because it is cold. See a few of our friends rock up. If not, we'll shut it down. Yes, we'll shut it down. Comes the boss.
Who are you talking to?
Probably no one. I thought Tony was there, but he might have wandered off.
I'll show that Mel's little brunch.
Is that chicken?
I think so.
Very nice, very nice. Tony's here. He's just kicking back. lighten up his bong. Get his wife to massage his feet. Come on, woman, massage her now. Yes, the life of a king. King Tony Anthony.
Is it shower time?
No, he's had a shower.
Oh.
Yes, he's well in advance. She's at her mother's place tonight. All right, they're plotting against you. Do you realise, sweetheart, you just need to add a little bit of mistletoe and poison into his porridge. Yes, you can claim everything. The house, insurance, superannuation, yes. Here, let me show you. I'll make you a bottle to take home. Tell him it's sparkling water. He'll never know what hit him. That's good. Everyone's starting to catch up with their families. One of our sons is taking his wife down south for a few days, a nice little cabin, getting away. Isolated. I'm thinking that's a good idea. You've been isolated for 6 weeks. And you go to a cabin to be totally isolated.
Yeah, but it's a different sort of isolation, isn't it?
Good morning, VMAC. Use some fresh veggies out the garden tonight for our stew. A lot of people, they'll grow vegetables and then they pull them out of the garden and eat them. A lot of my veggies I just pull around the edges. Just pick. So it just keeps growing. I should have done a little video tonight. I cut some pak choy off about an inch from the bottom. That was 2 days ago, and now they're starting to grow again in the middle. So you can even regrow stuff. I'm heading out for a few days, going to the island to relax. Ooh, she's on holiday.
Can I have pictures?
No, you'll get nothing from VMAC. She works for the Secret Service.
No, I just want the countryside. I want animals.
No, that'll give away her location. You'll probably find out that she lives in Canada. When she wants all of us to know that she lives in, I don't know, Puerto Rico, New Zealand. She could live in New Zealand. She's a Highland girl. Plenty of mountains in New Zealand. Are your borders nicely sealed up still, VMAC? I imagine they are. Ours are. Kept Britain open.
Quick, delete that comment.
Oh, she's going to get crabs. Good crabs. She's going for a bit of fishing, fresh food. Oh, yeah, fresh fish. Mind you, she won't be eating it. She'll just be cooking it for everyone else. She'll just be eating the seaweed that's attached to the line.
Yep.
I imagine you're getting some nicer days. We're bracing ourselves here at 16.2 degrees Celsius.
With weather coming in tomorrow.
Yeah, I just read that. It's went to the weather page. It says severe weather warning again.
Yeah. Em said, what's going on? Is she the weather person now? She messaged us all telling us about severe weather.
Severe weather.
Pick
Did you hear
close-
Mystic Angels then? We're going to have severe weather.
I'm
Here's the weather
tired.
with Mystic Angels.
Because of them coming up from south. Because down where they are, it's supposed to hit 8 a.m. and then get here by lunchtime.
Oh, you're saying that's Jess?
Yeah.
You said him?
Em.
Oh, she's relaying. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Right. We lived down at a cape once on the very southwest point of our state for about a year, Cape Lewin, and man, during the winter those storms hit pretty bad. People can come but have to isolate some 14 days, have to stay where they will be, and the RCMP have been doing. Yeah, what they do here, like, there is travel, but it's usually professionals or essentials. Even they've got to come back and quarantine. Son about 4 weeks ago was told he had to go to Queensland to do some occupational and health safety training, because that's what he is. And they said, but when you get there, you've got to wait 14 days. And then when you fly back to WA, you can't go back home. You've got to stay in a hotel for 14 days. And the police contact you every day, random times. It's like, so he's got to be isolated for 28 days all up and do a day's work. So he said, oh, I'm not doing it. Our borders will open probably in another month, maybe longer. Our state is pretty much saying, well, we'll open up when we're ready. The rest of the country saying, open up. We're going, nah, she's right.
No, we don't want all them over here. They've got more cases in the eastern
It's
states.
all good. You stay there, we'll stay here. And that's in the state that, you know, we don't have any problems. That's why we don't have any problems. And it's sort of just about back to normal here. You notice driving down that back road through Bassendean, they had that cafe, the one that we've not been to at the back. Forgot to mention at the time. As we went down that road to get there, on the right-hand side there was a
It's
cafe.
all colourful building. Oh, just near the corner.
Quite a big
that
cafe. But anyway, there's about 12, 15 people in there.
Was there?
Couple outside, yeah.
I didn't even notice that. How did I miss that?
I would agree with your
Yeah.
Prime Minister. Look, I mean, you've done pretty well in Canada. You've still lost a lot of people, but a lot less than the US. So why would you open your borders? That would be the argument I'd be having in the Canadian Parliament. Why would we be open our borders? We can get our own country going again, and that will get most of the people that were out of work back at work, except tourism. I accept that. But the Canadian government, like the Australian government, will probably look after the tourism industry, which they do here. They're getting money. And when we see fit, we will reopen. Yeah, look, we've not made anywhere near sacrifices like Danny and other people, my daughters in the medical, partners in Ambo Drive. We haven't made those sort of sacrifices. See you, Tony. Have a good one, mate. But we have all, in my country, just been smart. Most of us didn't go anywhere for the first 6 weeks. Didn't see our families. So I understand the frustration of not catching up with your friends. But there's a reason. And you can justify that to yourself, saying, yeah, we're missing that sort of thing, but that's only for this season, hopefully. Because if we're not going to be smart and a little bit, it's not being pessimistic, it's being an optimist, saying we are just determined not to have an outbreak again. Yep, friends or family or cousins, it's the same. There's certain people we haven't seen because we've all just, played it smart. But we're seeing more people. There's a bit more confidence in people as you see them. Remember, I think I was telling you, VMAC, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, there was that anxious look and that, that vibe you get with people that are very uneasy. Well, that's just about gone. And that's a collective thing, If someone walks around like that, it sort of infects other people's, and they get a bit anxious, but we went out yesterday and got a little bit of shopping, and you can see people are more relaxed. They're still distancing, though. They're very conscious about that. Pretty sure it'd be the same with you and your country, but we are. There are dots everywhere. I had to go to the county shire office to put in an application for changes to the front veranda. And they were actually happy to see us. They said they've been doing nothing for about 6 weeks. They go to work, they sit in a desk, not open. Yeah, that's pretty much the same in Australia. If you take the Ruby Princess, which was a cruise liner, where we have had 104, I think, people pass away. So Ruby Princess is like 40. Nursing homes make up nearly the rest. But, to give you an idea, in my state, we had one West Australian die. He was a Chinese Australian citizen who actually came back and he brought it with him. But he just died. He didn't infect anyone. So as far as the 3 million people in my state, only one West Australian died. All the rest were people from cargo ships, boat cruises, everyone from overseas. So we didn't have that here. And luckily our nursing homes didn't get affected, did they?
Oh, I don't think so.
But it's not over, is what I'm saying. That's why your Canadian Prime Minister and our leaders are not opening the borders. There will not be any international flights, I do not think, arriving in Australia unless it's from our bubble, which is New Zealand and the Pacific Islands like Tonga, Fiji, Samoa, because they've not been affected. And New Zealand's got next to 0 cases they've had. I think they've had like 7 or 8 people pass away in New Zealand and no reported cases. So if our country's basically clear, the deal is we will open up to each other. So there'll be tourism going to the Pacific and New Zealand and them coming here. They've done it a bit different here. When they know they have active cases on board ships coming here, there is a designated hotel, which the government is hiring, and they put 6 people in a few days ago. So they go straight from the ship, one at a time, in the back of a van. They get unloaded at the hotel. The hotel is locked. They can't go anywhere. It's a bit like a prison. They're fed. They're checked twice daily. None of them, these 6, none of them are really ill, but they have it. So we just isolate them completely. And the reason why they take them off the ship is try to minimise the impact on the ship. Hello, Scarlett. Yeah, they thought of doing that, but what we have off the coast here is an island called Rottnest Island. We had a whole swag of people off a cruise ship who had it, and the island was used as quarantine. It's a tourist island. All these people were staying in luxury apartments on a beautiful outcrop island.
Yeah, which pissed some people off that could never afford to go there.
Yeah, no, well...
Not that they would want to go for bad reasons.
No, yeah, but that virtually...
But that was the only isolated area we have.
Oh, yeah, and then the hotels that they've hired specifically to quarantine people. And in my state, if you're under quarantine, you wear an ankle bracelet. Yes. So if you go outside, and you don't want to know what you get sent to prison here, massive fines, and the Premier here has made it very clear he doesn't care. If you want to breach and let other people open to infection who could die, you will spend time in prison. Well, well, this is what I said to you, and I did read a report a couple of weeks ago. If Commonwealth countries do actually get to the level that it's comfortable and is, reduced or completely gone, that bubble will open up. In other words, you can travel to the UK, maybe. That's the last place I go at the moment. Canada, New Zealand, Australia, because they've all done very similar things, except the UK is not a good place. I mean, their death rate is still high, but a lot lower than it was. Oh, so you don't want Australians there? Clean Australians? Fine. I don't hear back from BMAC at 11 a.m. tomorrow. There will be a state of war between the two Commonwealths. No one's going to be travelling anywhere like that anyway, BMAC. If someone won a prize for 2 people to travel, say, to New York and Canada and London, no one's going. cruise industry is panicking here because they've already said, oh, we'll be reopened by September. We're going to take bookings now. And they're sitting in their office and no one's phoning them. That's good. Get back to nature, VMAC. Take your shoes off and your socks and just wear your Canadian Bear bikinis and walk into the wilderness with a stick, catch a fish, and eat it raw. Wild woman of Cape Breton.
I don't think so.
Da-da-da-da-da. So, as the title suggests, VMAC, do you believe in aliens? Or probably an easier question would be, are we not alone? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. What you're saying, Senorita, you're saying that I'm an alien? That's not true. I come from Area 57. You know, baked beans.
Heinz variety.
I'm an alien. Oh, no, no proof that there is, no proof that there is not. Well, ambiguous answer, VMAC, but you're entitled to be your ambiguity.
That's right. There's no proof either way, so you can believe what you want.
See, I believe we are the aliens.
Oh, you reckon?
Exactly, Scarlett.
Okay.
I'd be back. We'll go to the toilet. I could tell you if I find any beans.
I don't really want to know that. I hope they didn't hear you say that. Yeah, proof. I don't know, it's a hard one. Sometimes if you've had, doesn't matter what it is, spiritual, whatever, alien, chocolate heaven, if you've experienced it, no proof's needed for you. If you haven't, no proof is enough. So, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Pentagon releases UFO videos for... who knows? I mean, technological is out there. Technology is out there. Are we the only ones with technology? I don't know. The letters UFO, or what it stands for, I don't know, that's a weird word as well. Covers a lot of things, really. Alien can also... foreign, I don't know. Are there other foreigners out there? Could you say that? Would that sound better? Nanu, earthlings. Oh dear. I'll be 2-6. Good evening, earthlings. Oh my God, we've got Seeds is texting from beyond. flood Ontarians. Oh, okay, Scarlett. Oh my God, really, mate? And an expert asked me to get. Oh my God, if he was on bad and came in the room now with you two in the room, geez, can you imagine it? That's funny, mate. Scarlett, that's a good one. Make sure you bloody wash your hands. I mean, oh my God, I'm so blonde. Oh my God, I'm so. Oh, oh God. I just realised what I said. I know. I thought you took the other phone with you. Like, I didn't sit here and fart or anything. Oh. What is it? July 1st, National Bully Redemption Day. Oh, did you do it accidentally, Buttercup? Oh, I hope they read it. Oh, look, I've done that, Butty. I don't know how many times I've actually accidentally timed someone out. Sometimes your finger's a little bit too quick, eh? Tell them about the weather coming. Oh, shut up. Oh, okay, who's going to make me a coffee? Well, Seeds has made his mind up on the old bully, so we've got to see what happens. I mean, I don't believe in people getting attacked, getting talked to in nasty ways, blah, blah, blah. Of course, time him out or block him. But when he says some funny, stupid little things that you could sort of ignore, just so you get the chance to time him out. That's so mean. Yeah, the pleasure. I bet you we know he's full of it. Benny, are you still there, Benny? Dear, I think I need a coffee. Seeds, hurry up, make us a cuppa, will ya? Wherever you are listening. You can hear the birds. Yeah, well, I've done that. I remember, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, someone new came into the room. Oh, before YouTube changed the thing, was when you could still actually go and look at somebody's profile. and I was checking on who this new person was, and oh damn, I did the same thing. I timed them out. I didn't mean to. I remember I timed Nicole out once. I can hear footsteps in the kitchen, so hopefully I'm getting a cuppa made. I can hear cups clinking. Oh, there you go, Benny. Benny. But he didn't mean to time you out, okay? It's just sometimes when you check up on someone's profiles, you hit the wrong button. Maybe government protect them for a long time for gain. Yeah, I don't know much about that side of stuff. I just know, you know, men are from Mars, women are from Venus. There's something out there. Hey, Mac. Oh dear. Betty, we have a sense of humour in this room, as you might have noticed. Hey, Mac with her wicked laugh. You gotta laugh, don't you? So what else is happening? What's new? There goes our train. I mean, so do you believe, I don't want to use the word alien, I don't know how else to describe it, walk among us. Is that too much of a far-fetched question? That's true, Vivek. In the last 1 century, technology started up to the next level. We're not other in 19th century. Yeah, we do all need it last. I mean, sometimes things I come out and say is ridiculous. Oh, technology's moving fast, yes, I agree there. But I suppose every century said the same thing. I suppose as things progressed back in each century, people said, wow, this is moving fast. Wow, look at this. Is it possible that we can even invent anything else? Have we done it all? So I suppose all centuries say that. Well, you know what I mean. Back in the 1700s, lighting a fire was a miracle. I mean, you just... We have more people now. You're right, seeds. Yeah, could be, Buttercup. See, I told you seeds was old. Boytian. That just shows I must have a thing for older men then.
I'm not old. That's just the way I'm drawn. Geez, no.
You're 812 years old. I've got a thing for older men.
Yes, I remember VMAC as a young sapling girl in the mountains of Boitia. Yeah, she used to frighten most of the goats. She didn't have to herd them, they just ran in fear.
Scarlett reckons you look like a reincarnated of Moses. Reincarnation.
Could be. I shan't tell you all the secrets.
Yeah, she uses a taser now.
Yes, times have moved on.
VMAC wants to know you're a tall white what?
Hunk. Next question.
Yeah, probably VMAC.
A girly pirate up the mainsail. But, Captain, I've got no knickers underneath my skirt. That's all right, the boys on the deck will be polishing whilst you're up. Sorry, can I help it?
No, you look like the man from Borneo. Or a goat herd yourself.
Hello. I could tell you stories about VMAC. It's not what her name was called, it was Crusher. That's what her name was in 555. Yes. No one dared cross her path. Just like that. Let me look into... Oh, look, there's a couple of lurkers. Hello. Hello.
Oh, you got a lot of...
There's Buttercup. Hello, Buttercup. Thou shalt not pass. Though I walk in the valley of Boit, I fear no evil. Well, a few of them are crazy. Wouldn't go near them myself. Barge pole. Get away. Go on.
Benny, if you're watching the video, don't be scared. I'm in the camera.
Beam me up, Moses.
Oh, I've got to tell them what you did the other night. Oh my God.
What?
When we go to bed, we like to listen to podcasts, right?
Yes.
Mainly Ricky, I can never say his name probably.
Ricky Gervais, Carl
Gervais.
Pilkington, and Stephen Merchant.
And yeah, Steve Merchant can't pull him. Anyway, I don't know what possessed Seeds. He decided to listen to something completely different.
I was listening to Genesis.
And oh my God, he put the book of Genesis on. And I can fall asleep to music or a mild podcast or a little bit of humour. But this Genesis, whatever it was, and the guy talking, I kept waiting that it was actually going to be a joke. His voice was like, I was waiting for a punchline, that he wasn't serious. Oh my God, Seeds fell asleep, started snoring, so I got up and turned it off.
Thou shalt not eat from the tree of life and knowledge. Well, why plant the fucking thing there? Think about it for a second. Do not eat from that tree. Or perhaps I shall never grow that tree, and I don't need to tell you. And we'll live harmoniously. No rib will be broken during this Genesis.
Benny must have seen you on video. I've got nothing against religion, whatever, because, as you know, I don't hide the fact I believe in God, but I don't know what possessed him to put this on.
Well, I don't look for contradictions, but there are so many within man's version. You know, men writing books and handing down stories over generations. Things that don't work for me. Things that don't work for me.
And that's
Noah's Ark. It doesn't work for me. I mean, if you just got 1/100th of the animals on the earth, you need a lot more than 300 by 100 cubics. I'm just telling you, mathematically, it's not going to work unless they decompressed them.
Yeah, they were miniatures.
They were miniature elephants. Instead of weighing, 12 tonne, they only weighed 12 ounces. Because there's no way you could stick 2 by 2 of every species on the planet.
Actually, you fell asleep before that bit. It went on to say it was more than 2 by 2. You'll have to listen to I'll have to find that section for you.
It used to be every beast and its mate,
Well,
and every insect
the
and its
way
mate,
this guy read it,
and every VMAC, but just bring her by herself.
it was basically saying, I don't know, more, 12 or more.
Yeah, I understand the metaphors within the Bible, Buttercup, but when they do specifics like the Noah, and then they exclude books from the Bible, maybe they just will make it a bit smaller.
No, my question is, why on earth would you allow fleas and ticks? I know they're food for something. I suppose they fed the monkeys.
That's what I believe in, Charmin. Everyone is entitled to believe
Yeah, that's right.
their own beliefs, and you shouldn't admonish anyone's beliefs at all. But you shouldn't have to agree with them either.
No, but it is interesting. Yeah, the unicorns. Oh, look, they did.
Well, I mean, I'm sure some of you remember books written in the 70s and 80s.
Mate.
Some of you would know the book I'm going to mention next, Chariots of the Gods. Gods, not God. Chariots of the Gods. If you've not read it, have a read.
That was a good movie.
I don't think they ever made a movie out
I
of
thought
it.
it was a movie.
No, it's a book.
Well,
If it's a movie, I've not seen it.
Well, what movie am I thinking of then? Something called God or Gods?
Mystic Angels of God, that
No.
movie? No.
It was an Aboriginal played a part in it.
No. You've lost me.
I'll have to look that up now myself.
But even if you only read the reference to the book, The Chariots of the Gods. Aliens helping to build pyramids. No, not chariot.
Hang on, I'll have a quick look.
Not chariots of fire.
I shall-
Chariots of the gods.
I shall Google it. Let me.
Surely I'm not the only one. Mind you, I am 812 years old.
How do you
So
spell chariot?
I've wrote most books,
How
let
do you
alone
spell-
read them.
How do you spell chariots?
CHARIOT
Yeah, yeah.
S.
You just read Scarlett's comment to get the spelling.
No,
didn't
I
you?
was looking at you.
See, there is a Chariots of Fire. It's a film 1981. Then there's the Chariots of the Gods, book by Eric von Däniken.
Yeah.
Duncan.
Chariots of the Gods. Just go and look at the summary of the book. That might be easy. If you've not read it, it's just a thought process and an idea of how, what, and why, what happened. That's someone's opinion and views. Doesn't mean it's true. Chariot, the Dictionary of Elbow. Well, the Dictionary of Elbow is only 2 pages thick,
Chariots of
and
Gods.
the second page is just a repetition of page 1.
Chariots of Gods film. Chariots of Gods. German. And somebody.
No, I
It's
don't
a
think...
documentary film directed by. You read that.
Chariots of the Gods, film, Chariots of the Gods, German, 1970 West German documentary film directed by Harald Reine, is the basis of Aaron Dundanek's book, Chariots of the Gods.
Yeah, there you go. So
Okay.
it's a documentary.
I'd never, I said I don't think there's ever been a movie.
But that would be interesting then.
Because it's one of those things about the unknown. When people discuss things that are hard and factual, I say, okay, I'm going to give you a weapon which has a projectile that will never stop. I want you just to pick a point in the sky, you choose, and fire, and then tell me where it stops.
Oh, look, there you go. What is the meaning? Read the Chariots of Gods.
What is Chariots of God? A variety of hypotheses dealing with the possibility of extraterrestrial beings, extraterrestrial, did you get that? Beings influencing ancient technology. The book also suggests the ancient artwork throughout the world could be interpreted as depicting astronauts, air and space vehicles. So yeah.
There you go. Oh, sorry, you missed some comments.
Yep, I've got no problem with that, Benny. It's just I don't agree with it. Mathematically, I'm just a logic lateral beast, and when you try and fit every animal 2 by 2 into a 300 by 100 cubic, it doesn't work.
Hang on, VMAX stars. Everybody stop. VMAC, I'm going to give you 2 lots because I wasn't reading your comment. I was Googling. There you go. Oh, just saved myself then.
Yes, there are so many depictions, Scarlett, over so many different ancient anthropological discoveries that it's like, it can't be all coincidental. Or maybe word of mouth. People travelled. People think that because, 10,000 years ago, people just lived in the one area. No, humans are an indomitable species and they will wander all the time. We still do it today.
Do they have aliens with antennas in the prehistoric cave paintings? Well, that's an interesting question. I've never really looked at them that close, or...
Yep, there's quite a lot through the UK, actually, Scarlett, and all around the world. But just because we don't know, it doesn't, as in, like, a fact, we can all speculate. And if you can imagine thousands of years ago, seeing something like that would have been astonishing.
So I'm just going to...
Yeah, that's true. It's one of the reasons why migration took place. In a near relative, no longer in life, but in us, 3%. Neanderthal was probably one of the biggest movers. They lived in the coldest part of the bloody planet. But they didn't move that far. They sort of went from Northern Europe, Spain, didn't quite get to Italy, I don't think, off memory. But I think they found the last remains of Neanderthal in Spain, which indicates the weather got so cold, even when they went down to Spain at that time, the Ice Age took its toll, where humans, or what we call Homo erectus, or Homo sapiens, moved. There were, and you can check this up, I'm not making any of this up, there were at any given time 14 species of humanoid. You know Neanderthal and you know us, Homo sapiens, but there are many in between that were in fact species, not variants of Homo sapiens, but their own species. So our planet's been occupied by, if you think of things like leopards or bears, there's different types of bears, but they're the same species. And there's different types of leopards, but they're the same species. Well, what I'm saying is there's been over 14 species of humanoid, and not like missing links going to each other. So we've had an extraordinary path on this planet, and all within, if you ask some people, all within just 5,000 years. And they're entitled to that opinion.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be cool going to that, Buddy? That'd be awesome going to that library. Or actually looking at some of the documents that are hidden away from the human eye for whatever reason. They say has to be protected from light, atmosphere, whatever.
All right, so it's the Middle East. The last I heard, that was about 10 years ago, they found remains in a cave in Spain. But Scarlett's saying they've even found them a little further south in the Middle East. It's 3% of you, VMAC, is Neanderthal. It's pretty much an average between 2.1 and 3.5. In Homo sapiens is Neanderthal. So you know there's a bit of hanky-panky going on.
That's what VMAC's saying, yes.
Yeah. A little bit of, hello, you've got a wide brow, but I like your smile. Come into my cave.
Like the Spudshed man. Sure, he's still Neanderthal, whatever he say. His eyebrows, man. I have to get. I wonder if the video on YouTube of him. I'll have to see if I can find one.
Geez, that must have been a pretty good observation. They found flowers by their grave, as in someone just coming past recently. You've got to realise that when the Neanderthals were wiped out, it's because of the Ice Age. There wouldn't have been too much growing at the time, is what I'm saying. And I'm just a logical beast and thinker, and I just can't see if you froze to death eventually because the planet got very thick with ice, there certainly wouldn't be many daisies around.
What do you mean? You're saying preserved? That
No, what I'm saying is that during ice ages, seed is incredible. Some seeds will last, and they know, hundreds of thousands of years.
yeah.
What wouldn't be happening at the time of your death, though, if you were frozen because the ice is 100 feet thick, there wouldn't be anything growing. There's a reason why the ice is 100 feet thick.
So then, if they found stuff with people frozen in 100,000 feet of snow, whatever, it obviously got preserved with them. It was there.
Anything can be preserved. It could have been a coincidence where there is maybe 50, 60 years earlier where the ice didn't get, it just rode across the top.
Yeah, it's
Because
really
a lot of the ice packs ended up today are partial glaciers of what the Earth was. In other words, that's just the base of where it started.
Have you read what Chime said at VMAC?
To apologise. I think my husband is a caveman. He drags me into the cave each night and tells me, cook woman. Oh, okay. Fair enough. A little bit of argy-bargy. That could be true. I don't think Neanderthal were much different than any species because they would have cared. That's why they were in groups. So they would have cared for each other. They would have loved each other. They might have just grunted a lot.
But
You
it-
know, what does that mean?
isn't
I
his-
love you.
Isn't history interesting though, when you try and think back of how people, when they do find these preserved things, bodies, like in the bog people and all that,
Oh, I
it's
agree.
interesting
Yeah.
how they've
Scarlett,
built up a
I agree.
picture of how people lived and what they did.
Well, VMAX said it before, most of us would have been like a group of people here, if
Yeah,
we were together,
shared
would all be
stories.
saying it's time to move north to hunt the deer or elk or whatever. And we'd all know it was that time of the year and we'd move on. We'd have a dozen camps, maybe a month here, a month there, truly nomadic based on following the food, as VMAX said. But I think the Thanet would have done all this caring and sharing that we do. I don't think there would have been any. I think they would have mourned the dead, celebrated the birth of new children. I don't think anyone could argue that point. It was more than that, Scarlett. In some of the anthropology, they know through DNA that the same people died in wide areas. In other words, they were directly brother or sister. And sister might have died 600 mile down one track, and the brother and his wife were up this track. So we were nomadic for one main reason. We were following the food. When you think about it, when grain was first planted thousands of years ago, it's probably to our detriment and to the planet's detriment, because with an abundance of supply of food over the winter, you can multiply. And that means the planet is now, let's be honest, overcrowded.
Yes.
If we'd have continued to be nomadic, A, we wouldn't have lived as long. There's lots of tribulations going up and down mountains and rivers and whatever. And B, we wouldn't have had the expansion of population on the planet.
That's where you should look at animals and their life cycle and when they breed and why. When's the big thing? They breed only when there's abundance. Even kangaroos don't. They hold that joey in their pouch to a certain
I've
point.
noticed something, even though it's a modern phenomenon, Boit, no one breeds. You realise that, people? There is no expansion of Boit. What you see now is just going to eventually die away. There isn't any son of man in the can. There's none of that going on.
Thank God.
So it's like, it's a limited thing. Yep, I got Viking. I'm part Viking.
Yeah, they do, Scarlett, don't they? They only breed when there's abundance.
And even way back, there were extinctions of some species because they were over-hunted.
Yeah.
In other words, a lot of animals precariously can't go below a certain number or they just fail to reproduce.
Like the dodo bird.
Yep.
And I suppose again, but everything has its cycle as well. If you
If
want
we
to look
lived-
at it that way.
If we lived seasonally, two things would happen. During abundance, we'd eat really well. We'd have a lot of food. But during lean times, we'd eat very less. But our bodies are designed to fast. We're designed to eat a lot when we've got it, and then if we haven't got it for a week or 10 days, our body, we can cope. Yeah, you get hungry, you actually feel hungry, but you won't die.
Some days I could eat all day, and other the days I think I just don't feel like eating.
Yeah, it's a bit different though. When, like, if there wasn't food around, we would have been a bit hungry, but we'd have been used to a week without food, and then we'd eat something in abundance for a few days. It's an irony when you think about it, because of modern technology. We as a species till the soil and grow grains. But in fact, less people till the soil now. Most people do not. What I'm saying is the actual producers of food, percentage of population is incredibly small. It's like less than 0.5% of the population actually till the field. Give an example, in Australia, you have a 1 million acre property run by 3 people. That's right, big machineries, etc. An acre of land in Egyptian times would have been run by 5 people, 6 people, just an acre, but very productive. So we still are now settled as a species, but we don't till the soil. A small percentage with very large machinery does that for us. Well, if there is a forage entitlement, some parts of the UK people get into fights. I could walk anywhere in the UK within 100 yards of a riverbed and no one can tell me to move on at all. Veggie spring rolls. Yeah, oh, they were good. Put a bit of ginger in there too, that was nice. Ramen Speed. Queen VMAC.
What? I just read Remac's comment. 2 scraggly looking guys were going through my yard right now. I told them to move on. They said they have a right to forage. In total. Really?
Well, just shoot them, VMAC. Just, take one out. Call the police. We've seen the Canadian police. What was that show called?
I can't remember.
Oh, you used to watch it.
I know. Used to love it.
Yeah, he's dead, eh?
Fargo.
Fargo. Yeah, call the Fargo police.
I love that movie. Love that
They'll
movie.
sort it out. RPMC. Gonna call the RPMC. Well, in Australia, I just walked up and smacked one of them in the mouth and say, "Do you want some of this?" To the other guy.
Yeah, a bit of
But
respect.
we're foraging. Yeah, so am I.
I
I'm
agree.
cleaning up dickheads.
Ask. Isn't that always good to ask?
Yes, I know. It was the Royal Mounted Canadian Police. Scarlet. I am a lumberjack and I'm okay.
You know that movie, Fargo? I should find that again and watch it. I haven't watched
I dress
it in a
up
while.
in Scarlet's clothing. Brunhildes. That's right. That's completely right. Now, for something completely different. It's yes, that's right. We have a federal police as well. Be right back. Oh, she's going to get some chocolate, coffee, an axe just to help the people in the front yard. I'll teach them to forage. Yeah. There are 2 fresh greaves in the back of VMAC's garden. What you growing there, VMAC? Apples? Nah, I just buried a couple of coconuts. We had a lurker. Oh dear. There's lots of people that don't comment. That never bothers me. A lot of people just like to watch. But it is getting cold here, Buttercup. It's 15.6 degrees Celsius. Welcome back, Tony. Tony is clean, ladies. He's already washed, showered. You probably missed the direct live broadcast, but it is pay-per-view. I think it's $29.99 per minute.
Right, your channel. Yeah, do you want that?
No, what is it?
The last of the coconut chocolate.
I-
I'll show VMAC.
Give it to VMAC. My wife has eaten a whole bar of chocolate and give me the last 2 squares. It looks like a very small bar of chocolate. VMAC? VMAC?
Oh, VMAC, right, be right back.
VMAC. Ah.
Are you back, Tony? I better give you a star. I thought you were going for the night.
That's
Damn lucky we didn't talk about him.
Who, Tony?
Yeah. Well, I left with 10 people. I come back and there's only 6. What have you done to them?
I've told him to piss off.
I think we lost Benny.
$23. I'd still have a jumper on.
15 isn't brisk, but it's bloody freezing.
I do. But the wife's not a big cake eater, to be honest. I like making things like rice pudding,
And I
apple
don't-
crumbles,
Don't really eat that.
and she's not big on it. So if I make like apple crumble, I've got to time it with some of the kids coming around or it'll go to waste.
I don't mind a nice apple crumble. My all-time favourite actually is a decent cheesecake. That is my favourite.
I love banana cake, carrot cake, those sort of things, because
And
I like
carrot
cakes to be moist, Scarlett. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Some people bring around a cake and you think, geez, should build the pyramids with that dry brick. So I like a little bit of moisture in there, and carrot and banana cake does that. Yep, I like the raisins too, but the wife said, I don't like raisins.
No.
Don't put raisins in the rice pudding. I don't really like rice pudding.
I mean, I don't mind a nice carrot cake, and I've got to say, the best carrot cake I've ever had, or have had, is that one we get from the baker.
Yes, all right. Yeah, I come home after working outside, and one of my grandson was here, and the wife said she came out and brought me a coffee. She said, well, I tell you, we'll go nice with this, with that last piece of carrot cake we got. And she went,
Grandson ate it.
yeah, well,
I had a bite.
yeah. So I didn't get any. See, puddings were a big thing when I was a kid. That used to fill you up. I butt carrot baby food to make carrot cakes.
I'd buy a fish better, right?
Oh, I buy
I've
carrot.
just, yep.
No, I don't. I like using fresh carrots. Even beetroot in cakes. Those who make cakes will know what I'm talking about. Bit of beetroot, grated beetroot in a cake mix. Does well. But as a kid, we'd
And
always have
zucchini.
steam puddings, you know, wrapped up in cloth.
A zucchini and a carrot cake's
Nah,
nice too.
not big on that. So
You can hardly taste it, if at all. That adds moisture.
I don't like scraping my knuckle seeds. All right, don't do it then. Just grate the carrot, not the knuckle.
Chocolate
I
covered
do.
raisins, no, because I
I
don't,
do, yeah.
not keen on raisins. I like, for a long time there I didn't eat any chocolate coated like nut or raisin.
Pineapple's good too.
Because you know the story, working at a nursing home, you never take an almond off a resident because it could have had chocolate on it once.
I've been savouring them for you, dear. I like the hard bits in the middle, but the chocolate was nice.
No,
Fruity dumpling. Traditional Scottish fruit pudding.
My grandmother, on my mum's side, used to make the best steamed pudding. It'd always be about the size of a small football, but inside was always like a jam. It was like a Vesuvius when you cut it open, and you had that with homemade custard. She's never had ice cream much as a kid. It was always custard.
no, ice cream was a luxury when I was growing up. Man, our horse got ice cream from the ice cream van once a month.
But that was true. I mean, I'm being honest with you. Food was pretty basic when I was a kid. Like, it was a broth, veggies, lots of veggies. VMAC would have thrived as a sibling of mine. Lots of veggies, dumplings. And that would sort of fill you up. You'd always have a pudding, and that probably filled you up completely. So you went to bed with a full belly, and it wouldn't assimilate any of the foods that you have today.
See, I love fruitcake, but I get the one without rind in it. I don't like rind pieces or glazed fruit. I don't like glazed fruit.
I like a marmalade, but I bought one, and it's Rose's lime marmalade. Buttercup would know what that is. And there's hardly any rind, and if it is, it's just a slither.
Yuck, no.
But you don't, yeah, I don't like when you get mixed fruit, you get the hard rind in there. I don't like that. Like puddings
No.
used to be, I don't like that.
I buy fruitless hot cross buns because I don't like the raisins in it.
Oh no, look, vegetarianism is a choice. A lot of people get confused because I know vegetarians, it's not always got to do with saving animals. It's their belief in that it's a healthier lifestyle.
You just got, I don't.
Lemon marmalade, yum. So when you open that jar of Trappist monk marmalade, Scarlett, does it go, this will taste really good. Put the lid back on. What was that? You will love it, yes you. Bloody hell. This stuff's strong.
Actually, yeah, just don't like glazed cherries. I'm not that keen on fresh cherries either.
I like fresh cherries. I do not like glazed cherry. I hate them. But I do like fresh cherry. But not a lot of them. It's supposed to be good for you and your circulation.
What, glazed cherries? Fresh cherries is, I don't know about glazed.
You can make marmalade out of just about anything.
Pumpkin marmalade. Now that'd be interesting. I have never heard of that.
I love rhubarb jam. It's got to be clotty and clumpy. Yum. I know my grandmother used to make rhubarb and apple jam. That was bloody delicious. She used to use that for a filling in cakes as well.
Yes, I can.
Apple butter, yeah, that's good.
Yep, I can, if Scarlett's alright, I can pass that on.
Yeah, I can give you Scarlett's email address here, direct live. It's hotbutt number 99 at yougottabekidding.com. I mean, I've grown rhubarb. If anyone's grown rhubarb, Mystic probably has. Scarlett. You need 3 seasons. First season, you're virtually just growing it. Second season, you do get. But after that,
Okay, Scarlett.
there are, and I know this is a fact, in the UK, there are patches of rhubarb 200 years old. I'm not kidding you. And I love rhubarb, but like I say, it's a huge plant, and you end up eating about 1/10 of it because it's all foliage. But they grow monstrous. Just like most foods when I remember as a kid, they were in patches. There'd be a rhubarb patch, there'd be a strawberry patch, there'd be blackberry patch. You know what I mean? That was pretty common. There wasn't gardens of all these different varieties. Usually they were wild. You could go out where I used to live in the Midlands and pick up wild fruit in abundance. There's lots of natural foods for natural remedies. I can't remember where I put it, but there was a book I had that was foods that heal and foods that harm. It's like I can never get over each year there's some research done into eggs, and they say eggs are bad for you, don't have them.
Oh,
Then it's eggs are really good for you,
Yeah.
you should have them. It's
Every-
like red wine, don't drink red wine.
and peanut butter.
There's a village in the middle of, well, it's just off the coast of Turkey, but it's actually Grecian, it's Greece people. Not greasy people, people from Greece. Small island, and they drink their homemade red wine. And they are the most, they live so long, but they live so well long. In other words, there can be 105 and 110-year-old people there, and they dance every day. In this particular island, they celebrate every day. So drink and be merry apparently works. And breastfeeding, that's right. Most women allow all the men of the village to breastfeed, no matter what age they are. So like I said, be drink and be merry.
Oh my God, you know you can actually get recipes using breast milk to make soap, creams, and cakes and stuff. So it's a,
I remember I was about, I think I must have been about 6, and I was playing out the back of some kid's yard with a few other kids, and this young bloke's mum came out. He was about the same age as me, and he just whipped out a boob and had a bit of a top up. I'm sort of standing there going, what the? Apparently it was normal, up to 5 and 6 years of age.
well,
Just whip out the mobile Tetra Pak of breast.
I don't know what started it. It was the daughter-in-law having a sense of humour. She ran out of milk, and she said, "I'll just use breast milk." She was kidding, and then it's just been an ongoing joke in the family. I said, "I'll never accept a rice pudding from you, Jess."
Oh.
So out of curiosity, I googled breast milk recipes.
Rice
And
pudding.
And it came up with cakes. Put it, and what it is with the soap and that is if your child has got
Ew,
sensitive
Scarlett,
skin.
ew.
Oh, you're kidding, Scarlett.
No, you're right. I think Buttercup's hit it on the head. When I was a kid, I did go, what the? But I remember my auntie saying, no, that's quite normal. Some parents, mothers will breastfeed and I didn't think it was true, but up to about 8 or 9 years of age. Other words, it was traditionally done, a form of nutrition. I still think, ew, but
Yeah, up to the age of 9, that's a bit.
I don't get when
That's a
people
bit much.
say, because I know my daughter-in-law said, oh, you don't mind if I breastfeed? I said, no, I've seen plenty of boobs, whack her out. It's like, I grew up with that. I grew up with everyone's kids being breastfed.
Yeah, 'cause
It wasn't, and what Scarlett was saying, and Buttercup being sexualised. It wasn't when I was a kid. Women would just whack their boob out, feed the baby, and it was like, oh, that's normal. In other words, it was normal. It wasn't seen as perversion.
Yeah, so I was a bit shocked when I saw these recipes, but I had to laugh.
Just well, you didn't check out the recipes for coq au vin.
Oh, stop it.
It's chicken. What are you going on about?
It's-
Yes. I think Dolly Parton's a lovely person myself. And not because she's got big boobs, but she just seems a very nice person.
Scarlett sometimes comes out with these jokes, doesn't she?
The Mac's mother said, breastfeeding is for poor women. Now suck on the goat. Thanks, Mum. But when you're done, clean up that shit.
Actually, I remember I've got those things to make in the cupboard. Might do that tomorrow.
The bunny guy started to change. You mean a wabbit? Wabbit? It's like in some cultures, they don't like you holding hands in public. There's a cow for you, a huge hefner. But it's like in Thailand, you don't get shot, but you get some strange looks if you hold hands whilst walking. It's like not done. So each cultures have different things. Like an Aboriginal culture, you get used to it. I grew up with Aborigines, but they don't look you in the eye. It's not a sign of disrespect, it's a sign of respect for them. So when you talk to them, you can be looking at the ground or to the left. Having direct eye contact, they find offensive. And there are other cultures that are like that as well. So we're all different. We live in different parts of the world where things are and not accepted. Depends where you are. But that's what makes the world interesting. And that's why I always tell people, when you can, at the moment you can't. When you can, travel. See things. Do things. Lack of eye contact. See, there you go. That's the reverse. You can't look me in the eye. You're obviously dodgy. Aboriginal culture, they feel offended. They actually turn their body like on a 90-degree turn. They'll talk to you, but they're talking down to the dirt or up in the sky. But that's how they do it. It's a sign of respect for them. Not all, because there are over 800 tribes in Australia. So most, though, are very similar. And we have, without doubt, and it's just a fact, we have the oldest living culture on the planet in Aboriginals of Australia. 40, 50,000 years of culture. All similar but different. They have different stories, their dream time they call it. Yeah, no, well, Buttercup, they don't do that in Australia, just letting you know. So if you get off the plane and go, they'll be going, you dirty little bugger, get back on that plane. Yes, the answer to that, Scarlett, yes. It'd be very hard for my generation and older not to stick your hand out, but a lot of people are just not doing it. Arabs believe burping is a sign of appreciation. Well, all the Germans I've met, and the wife's German by heritage, and we've been to Germany, and none of them really fart or burp. That's correct, female. I was about to bring that up. Not many people would know that. It used to be called the open palm. You'd hold your hand out and another person would put the hand on yours to say, I haven't a weapon either. Oh, not longer necessary in civilised countries, except parts of Northern America. You get a handshake with a 38 or 45. You're feeling lucky, punk. Well, charming, in Australia, we're nearly back to normal, and I can tell you that was our problem. 6 weeks, no contact at all. Like I say, we've got 9.5 grandkids. We didn't have contact with the kids. We all talked, got on different devices we could see and talk and laugh. And I even dropped off meals. But then about 3 weeks ago, everything eased up. No cases where I live. So we're back together, basically. And tonight and yesterday, The Oval that's behind me had started having people training for sport, so sport's just about underway in Australia. It's not the same though. There are dots everywhere you go on the floors and distances required, but everyone's just doing it. No one's complaining about that. Buses that carry 50 can only now carry 15. They just put more buses on.
I thought it was a big packet. That's what took me so long.
Restaurants and pubs are open here. So it's just about back to normal, but what it is that people are still aware that this has not gone anywhere. We've just controlled it. This is Mystic Angels Jiffy Corn Mup Mix. Yeah, and a little bit of that and then biscuit and gravy.
Yeah, I found it. It was one pack
It
left.
says
in the shop.
add egg and milk. I don't think it says breast milk, but put it there then people can see. Jiffy.
I'll make them tomorrow.
I think the UK's got a while to go. Everything's getting better in the UK, but it's still proportionally quite high. You have a hair appointment coming up. If that gets messed with, I will kill people. I will look like old man for country thing movie.
What is sad is the hugs, kisses, and the handshaking that no one's been able to do.
Our neighbours came over probably about a month ago and we had a couple of drinks. And she's a hairdresser. And she said, we've never stopped working. I said, don't take this the wrong way, but when the fuck does hairdressing become an essential?
She said the same
She
thing.
says, I'm a hairdresser and I agree with you. I didn't want to go to work. Isn't it, it's crazy, Stay away from each other, but you can go and get a haircut and get a makeover, nails done. It's an essential service. No, it's not. You cut your own hair with the same bowl you cut other people's hair with, or do you have a special bowl for you? Oh no, I've used a bowl with marmalade in. Oh well, I'll have pumpkin-coloured hair. No, I could never work that out, how an essential service included paramedics, doctors, nurses, EMT, and hairdressers. Wait, whoa, what did you just say, man? No way. No, I'm sorry, hairdressers are not an essential service.
She doesn't use a bowl. Must use a plate.
Well, yeah, I know that it makes you feel better, look better, and you just hot to trot, but as far as maybe catching COVID-19, it's something I would avoid. I've cut my own hair since I was 16. I light a fire and let the coals get really, really, really hot, and then I roll around in them. I don't have to cut my hair for a year. You're 65? I don't believe that for one moment. Is that dog years or what? What are you going on about, Scotland? Age. It's funny, isn't it? Let's be honest, old people are just younger people with wrinkles. That's all it is.
Is that you now?
I'm just saying, age is irrelevant. Age is a number. Age is something that people determine who you are, which is wrong. You
I can't remember the last time I went to a hairdresser, to be honest.
I'm just getting this picture. Me and VMAC have gone camping, hunting vegetarian snakes. They're actually just snakes that are made out of vegetable. And we're stalking them, and we're out in the wild, and we're seeing like Bigfoot and everything. We get back to the tent, and she says, oh, my hair's a mess. 61, Charlie.
Okay, see you, buddy.
Need to go, folks. Take care. All much love.
probably
Bye,
a man
Buttercup.
coming.
Yeah, it's probably another man in uniform. Get off that bloody internet. I'm here now. No, when you're in the wild, you're just a wild woman. Just have a dust bath. Drink beer. Or some other beverage. I'm just wondering, does Kate Britton know you're coming this weekend? Will there be like signs on the entry to the town? Welcome, VMAC. Please don't take anyone out this time. Yep, you can. Camping and being dirty is not a prerequisite. But you're probably not going to get a perm or a hair colouring in the middle of the bush. Camping's good, but the wife doesn't really like camping.
I have to go glamping.
Yeah, it sounds good. Everyone needs to go-to place. Cliffs, beaches, ocean, the roar, the spray of the sea, the warmth of the campfire, and of course, the hairdryer.
What, battery operated one?
Yeah, definitely. What they could have done during this crisis is instead of having hairdressers open, you know, like people go around in these big dog washing vehicles at the back and they put the dog in the back. They could have done the same with women. Just get in the back, go on.
God.
Well, safety first.
Yes, glamping. No, I don't own a hairdryer either.
Hopefully no brothers, cousins or partners will be tossed over the cliff. It doesn't mean people will still not go missing. Where's your husband? I don't know. I think he ran away with the hairdresser. He just seemed to be running over the cliff at the time.
I've done my fair share of roughing it. I've slept in a damn toilet.
Yeah,
I'd seen sleep in it as well.
yeah. Another highlight. She gets claustrophobic.
Badly.
I was looking to get one of them teardrop campers, VMAC, you know the ones. They have a real good retro one here called a Tucana. It's got a queen bed, big windows, big doors. I know as soon as the wife gets, I'm feeling claustrophobic. Plattsburgh, New York, it was freezing.
Well, we were in Tasmania. It was snowing.
And it was about -10,
It was -10.
which is about 20, I think.
I don't know why we didn't get a cabin. We had
They
our
d- no,
dog
they didn't,
with us.
They didn't
we
have
could-
any when we got there, and the next night
Oh, the
they
first
did.
night they didn't.
So we got into that because I didn't want to spend 2 nights in the toilet. It
And we
wasn't a toilet, it was an ablution block. you
We
know.
had this piddly, and I mean piddly little, if you know that word, 2-man supposedly tent, which I'm sure was a 1-man tent. Our dog was a Chihuahua. She didn't take up much room.
I'll tell the story. 2 o'clock in the morning, I wake up. Mystic Angel's head is out the zipper. Her body's in the tent, head's outside. And I waited a couple of minutes thinking maybe she's just having a bit of a spit or something, I don't know. And she didn't move, and I said, what are you doing? She said, I can't sleep in the tent, it's making me claustrophobic. 10 minutes later, we're in the floor of the ablution block. Yes. Memories, like
And
the
of
sound of the toilet.
I was okay because I'm short. Steve had to wrap himself around the toilet to be comfortable. It was so funny. Oh dear.
Yes. Never again. But these teardrop campers are about between 25 and 30 grand. But they keep their value here. All the mod cons, solar panels, blah, blah, blah. All right, I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Yep.
Enjoy yourself. Please don't throw anyone off the cliff. Before you do ask if they're a hairdresser. Oh, well, I will
You're
spare
safe.
your life.
Yeah.
Have fun. good to get away. It's good to, like I say, do something that is out of your comfort box. So, like a lot of people like VMAC love camping and all those sort of things, but some people don't. Some people just like to travel.
Yes, it's glamping for me now. I've slept in a station wagon with my two sisters and mum and dad and all our camping gear. Because it was pissing down with rain, couldn't get the tent up, so we had to sleep in the car.
10 years ago, we came back from the eastern states and we booked into a caravan park in a place called Esperance. And we'd already said, look, we've got a little dog, is that okay? Yeah, that's fine, no problem. So we get there and the lady said, no, no dogs. I said, well, we've got a booking, and it said it was okay. No, no dogs. So we drove about 20k out of town because you have to be 20 kilometres away from a town to camp.
20 or 30.
And we had a whole heap of stuff in the car. So here's me lying on all the stuff with my head out one window and my feet out the other.
Because it was a small sedan.
And my little dog sitting on top of me.
It was on the back seat.
And it was like, this is
To wind the
probably
windows down.
not going to be good. And it wasn't.
And lucky it wasn't winter.
It was winter.
Well, I can't remember.
Every now and then I bring one foot in to defrost and place the other one out. But, yeah, they're the fun times you have. Good thing that we do here, and I'm sure other people do it around, we call them swags. They're a roll-up. Got a little bit of foam, maybe 2 or 3 inches of foam. Normally you throw in a blanket, and it's got, you know, insect repellent fly screens all around, and it can hood up a bit, so it's about 2 or 3 feet high where your head is. And they're comfortable. And you just roll them up. They're probably double the size, the thickness of, say, a sleeping bag when you roll them up. But they're made out of canvas, so it's waterproof. But we are going to tootle off shortly.
Yes.
VMAC's gone now and the crowd's going, oh no, there's no more VMAC. This is going to be boring.
Do my couple of games of Yahtzee before bed.
All right, good people. We shall do the tootling often. Thanks for rocking up. Good to catch up with friends. Oh, out of focus. What's going on? There you go. I'll just put you back in focus. You got to tell them about the Weber?
Weber.
Yeah.
So we Weber.
Yeah, so we're Weber coming. Yes, we've got another cold front coming up, so it's going to be... But that's what you get when you live near the Antarctic. So have a great day, a great night. Have fun if you can. And I know, like Chiming, like the rest of us, it's not normal not to see people you care about, but we'll pass. Okay. Be safe, be smart, and be kind. Good night.